Today we'll take literature. We will continue Unit 3, Chapter 15. What was it about, if you remember previous time? What did we talk?
We talked about Frankenstein's cat.
Yes, Frankenstein's cat. The excerpt was Frankenstein's cat. What was it about, girls? The Emily Anthus, the author, was against what?
Genetic modification.
Excellent. Genetics modification. She is against genetics modification. Okay, and interfering in the genes of animals. And she says that it's not ethical. I'll share the PowerPoint. Here is it. Okay, we discussed the academic vocabulary, the balanced presentation, because here Emily will present a presentation. She should be balanced. She should mention the two sides of the topic. The present participle tense. The subtopic is when I have a topic and topics. Transition, how I move between paragraphs, ideas. Participial phrase that works as an adjective before the noun. And then we talk about Emily Anthus, the author, the science geek. And then we saw examples of genetically modified animals like fish, the glowfish, right? And then we said that why she took the title Frankenstein? Because Frankenstein was a novel written by Mary Shelley. She has invented a scientist or created a scientist who played with parts of dead people and gathered them together to create a human, but instead he created a monster. So she says that any trial of human or scientists to interfere the genetics modification, it's like she created the Frankenstein, like the scientist created a monster. We are here playing in the DNA of animals, and finally it creates a monster. Then, girls, we read out of the text. We read the text.
Yes, miss.
Where did we stop?
I think line
Page 333, line 23.
So we didn't read a lot, so I'll share. So let's read it from the beginning better. You see the side, girls, of the book, the literature book?
yes, miss.
One minute, girls, I'd like to change the network. You hear me, girls?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Asma, are you here? Asma? Bilqis? Bayan? Husseina?
Yes, miss.
Yes, read Busaina from Frankenstein's cat.
From the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Science has given us a whole new toolbox of tinkering with the life, and we have the power to modify animals in profound new ways. We are editing their genetic code, rebuilding their broken bodies, and supplementing their natural senses. Headlines frequently herald the birth of the strange new creature: bionic beetles, glowing cats, spider goats, and roborats. The breakthrough are
Roborats. Yeah.
roborats. The breakthrough are the
Simultaneously?
simultaneously astonishing and puzzling. What are these creatures exactly? What do they look like? Who's creating them and why? And are these animals really so novel?
Yes,
In
so she started, thank you, Husseina. She started her introduction by talking about how scientists deal with those animals. We have the power to modify animals, so it is good when we, as we discussed previous time, and we saw picture for glowing cats, spider goats, rope rats, and bionic beetles. We saw pictures for them and we discussed it all. So she discusses what we have the power to modify animals, so we can heal their broken bodies, rebuild it, but we can also, as scientists, interfere in their genes. But why? What are we creating when we make a fish glow, when we make a cat glow? What are we creating and why? And do these animals really so novel? Thank you, Huthaina. Dalia? Yes, girls, we said what we are going to underline. Uh, in our first read, the objective, highlight the main idea of the entire passage. We said the main idea here that sciences has, right? We have underlined the first two lines, right or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So in each paragraph, we underline the main ideas. Dalia? Yes, read from line 11.
Indeed, we have a long history of refashioning animal bodies. Take the varied members of the species Canis lupus, familiaris, the modern dog, which are products of millennia of life with humans, and bear little resemblance to their ancestors, grey wolves. Exactly how this dog domestication began is a subject of intense debate. Some scientists suggest that we deliberately set out the
To
canine,
acquire.
acquire canine companions, adopting wild wolf pups. Other hypothesize that hungry wolves attracted to the bones, trash, and scraps produced by early humans and approached our camps on their own terms, and that our tolerance of the least threatening interlopers gave rise to future generations of human-friendly canines.
Okay, so thank you, Dalia. Here. Where is the main idea? I want you to get me the main idea before we continue.
Yes, we did it.
What was it?
We have a long history of refashioning animals.
Yes. We said that indeed we have a long history of refashioning animal bodies, right?
Yes.
Yes. So here he talks about what? there was a species, a kind of dog, which is Canis lupus familiaris. We saw its picture previous time. The ancestor of this dog was gray wolves. The ancestors were gray wolves. Can you have a wolf as a pet, girls?
No.
How a wolf and how a wolf grandfather, okay, gives me a dog. They say there are two hypotheses. The first one is how is this dog domestication began is a subject of intense debate. How he became a pet that you can raise at home. It came out of a wild animal. How can you raise it at home? So some scientists suggest that we set out to acquire canine companions. These two things, we call it that these two sharp teeth at the beginning, at the front here.
The vampire.
And huh?
The vampire, I guess, teeth. I don't know.
Yes. Adopting wild wolf pups. So when they adopt the wild wolf pups, they change their inhabitant qualities, their inhabitant traits. So when they change, they became domestication or domesticating animals. Other scientists believe that the hungry wolves came and lived among the bones, the trash produced by early humans. They came and they lived by the humans. When they lived by the humans, they alone changed their genes so they can live with human. Okay? So they approached our camps, the early human camps, because they used to live in camps, no houses, on their own terms, and that our tolerance of the least threatening interlopers gave rise to future generation of human-friendly canines. Okay, I just want to check the pronunciation to be sure, girls, all of us.
Teacher, are you sharing your screen?
Don't tell me that you were not with me.
No.
But you're not sharing.
I didn't share it, all of that. I shared it, girls, I'm sure.
No.
So, girls, I was aiming and pointing at it. Each time I do this, we read out of it. We read all of that, girls. Look, I aimed at all. Yes. Who noticed that I am sharing from screen? Oh, I'm not sharing.
Me, miss.
Thank you, Nujani. Safe.
No.
Okay. So we go to line 28. Dareen, read, please.
Yes, miss. Either way, as wolves become part of human society, moving from cold ground to warm,
28, dear. As our relationship.
as our relationship with canines developed, we began to breed them more carefully, modeling dogs that excelled at specific tasks. We created the bulky barrel-casted mastiff to guard our homes, and the
Dachshund.
dachshund, a wiggly slime of a dog, to shimmy into Bediger burrows. The diversity among modern dogs is so astounding that the 30,000 dogs that strut their canine stuff at crafts, the largest dog show in the world, don't even look like members of the same species. Today, thanks to us, dogs are the most physically diverse species on Earth.
Thank you, Dareen. As our relationship with canyons developed, when those wolves developed to be domesticated animals that we can raise home, we began to breed them more. So they start to get married to another breed to get a third breed, and then marry to another breed to get a fourth breed. Okay? So we began to breed them more carefully, molding dogs that excelled at a specific task. So they create the bulky barrel-chested mastiff, like here, girls. I will show you here. Let me show you this picture. It's what? Bulky what, girls? Bulky barrel-chested mastiff. Say it to me, okay? Here is it, girls. Bulky barrel-chested mastiff, this dog. Here. Okay. Barrel-chested mastiff. So they get a dog to marry another dog to get. Why this dog is very different than this dog? Breeds, different ancestors. Okay?
Okay.
And the dash hound, a wiggly salami of a dog. Dash hound. To shimmy into bad girl. Boros. What is dash hound? Let me show you the dash hound. What do you think of it? Dash hound. Look at the differences, girls. This is the dash hound, and this is the barrel-chested mastiff. Look at this mastiff, and look at this dash hound. Huh? Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Okay. To shimmy into badger boars. The diversity, you see now the book, girls, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Diversity among modern dogs is so astounding and astonishing that the 30,000 dogs that strut their cannons stuff at crofts. What is strut their cannon stuff at crofts? The largest dog show in the world do not even look like members of the same species as we saw now, or species. That same dogs, same, they are dogs, but they do not look each other at all. They are totally different, as if they are two different animals. How come? So, can you get me the main idea here?
Maybe missed the last line. Just dogs
No.
are the most physical diverse species on Earth now.
Yes, excellent. Excellent, dear. Number what in your book, so we can underline it?
Line 36.
Excellent. Line 36. Underline it, please. Today, thanks to us, dogs are the most physically diverse species on Earth. We have thousands of breeds of dogs. Okay, underline it, please. Durra,
Yes, Miss.
read, please.
We've reshaped other species too
turning scrawny chickens into pulp broiler birds and bristly-haired wild sheep into producers of soft wool. The list goes on and on. We learned to breed animals that suited our every need, creating hunters, herders, guardians, food sources, and companions. Over the course of generations, the members of many species diverged from their wild ancestors and took their place in a human world. Continue.
So where is the main idea here? What is main idea here, girls? Again, we have reshaped other species. Other species than dogs, we have reshaped them. 2. Turning scrawny chicken into plump broiler birds. Scrawny chicken. Here, girls, I'll show you the picture. Scrawny chicken. Scrawny chicken. Here is it. You see this scrawny chicken? It's like thin. Okay? To what? They modified it to what? They took the scrawny chicken and they made it what? They took the scrawny chicken into plump broiler. Plump broiler. Oh, why? And bristly-haired wild sheep. Broiler birds, plump broiler. Let me show you its picture. It's something. Plump broiler. What's total name, girls? Broiler. Yes, broiler birds. Look at this. Fatty chickens. So plump broiler birds. What do you think they made it? Why there is this? The scrawny chicken is thin. Look, it is thin. This is the chicken without its feather. It is thin when it walks here. Scrawny chicken. Look. They took it and they modified it. They played in it to make it what? A plump broiler birds. Fat. Why? Why do you think they did that?
To sell it
So
for
people
higher
can buy it.
For more what?
food source and money.
For more feather? For more meat, flesh, meat of it? So we can get more benefits? So it will be more beneficial? Right?
For us, yes. For them, no.
Yes. Uh-huh. And then, and bristly-haired wild sheep, the bristly-haired wild sheep, into producers of soft wool, the sheep. They give it medicines to make it more fluffy so you get more wool out of the sheep. And so on. The list goes on and on. We learned to breed animals that suited our every need. Creating hunters, herders, gardens, food sources. So we create a hunter as a dog, a herder, a garden, dog too, food sources like this chicken, companions to make it a pet. Over the course of generation, the members of many species diverge from their wild ancestor. It was a wild one day and took their place in a human world. Okay, thank you, Dora. So where is the main idea here, Chris? We didn't say.
Can I say, Miss?
Yeah. Who? Rujai?
Yes.
Yes, dear.
When he said we learned to breed animals that suited our every need.
Excellent, dear. This is great. And also we have reshaped other species too. Thank you, Durra. Fatima?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
But
where did we
selective,
stop here?
yeah, but selective breeding was
Which line here in our books we can follow?
46.
46, yes.
But selective breeding was a blunt instrument, one that required us to transform animals using educated guesswork, breeding desirable hounds together over and over again until a puppy we liked squirmed into the world. It took thousands of years to turn wolves into dogs. Now we can create novel organisms in years, months, in even days. Today, the tools of molecular biology allow us to target one specific gene to instantly turn it on or off, to silence or amplify its effects.
Yes, thank you, dear. Here, selective breeding as we understand, many thousand breedings of cats and dogs and this. Selective breeding was a blunt instrument, which was a blunt instrument, a method, a way, one that required us to transform animals using educated guesswork, breeding desirable hounds together over and over again until we find a puppy that we like. So they try till they get what they want. Before, it took thousands of years to transform a wolf into a dog. A wolf into a dog, it took thousands of years. As we said, the wolf started to come near to the camps and then started to have human to live with humans, so it has to change from its habitat. So gradually it became a domesticated animal. But its ancestor was a wild wolf. So before it took thousands of years to change, of course, not in 2 or 4 years, no, thousands of years. So the genes play a role and the DNA plays a role. But now we can, by a click of molecular biology, to target one specific gene. We get to one gene, we play on the gene, we make the fish glows, we make the cat glows. So now it's easier to change the genes of animals, girls, or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So who can get me the main idea here?
Now we
So,
can create novel organisms.
Yes, Diane?
No, it's Sarah.
Yes, Sarah?
I said now we can create novel organisms in year, months, and even days.
Yes, we can create novel organisms in years, months, even days. Excellent. Fatima was reading. Thank you, Fatima. Ghada,
Yes, Miss.
start reading from genetics, line 55.
Genetics isn't the only field providing us with the power to re-engineer other species. Advances in electronics make it possible to merge animal bodies with machines, to use tiny electrodes to hijack a rat's brain and guide the rodent like a remote-controlled toy. Through a complicated obstacles course, breakthroughs in material science and veterinary surgery are helping us build bionic limbs for injured animals, and we can train monkeys to control robotic arms with their thoughts. Today, our grandest science fiction fantasies are becoming reality.
Reliance. Who can tell me, girls, what that mean? Who can read it? Please read it silently. This paragraph is easy, yani, as we started now, so we can understand the idea more. So who can read it silently and tell me what does he want to say here? Who can, girls?
Can I try, miss?
Lujain?
Yes.
Yes, go on.
I think here they're saying that playing with the genetics is not the only way they can control and change the animals. That's also when they use electronics and the technology, they can also change the animals and like make them behave in other new ways,
Yes, like
like the
what?
rats.
What is an example?
When he talked about the rat's brain, that they enter tiny electrodes in the brain of the rat and then they control the rat.
Excellent. The experiments, girls, the scientific experiments, psychological and experiments, when they bring two cats and they ring for it, they attach them with electricity. If they do the experiments, there is an experiment I've just heard about it that they bring dogs into different rooms. One room, the floor of it is connected to wire and electricity, so it gives them a shock. Every now and then, a shock of electricity. So the first group of dogs in the first room, after a while, when they are shocked with electricity, they don't do anything. At the beginning, they used to jump on the floor to avoid electricity, but no solution. So at the end, they surrender and they stay still, even when it's time to get shocked by electricity. They don't do anything toward it, they just sit. The other room was divided into parts. The floor was divided into two parts, a part that has electricity and another part that is clear. So when the part that has electricity starts to shock them with electricity or electric flashes, they jump into the safe land. So they find the escape. So whenever they get shocked, they go to the safe land. So they know that there is a safe land. But the first room has surrendered. The dogs in the first room has surrendered. They understood that there is no escape from the electricity shock. Okay, so these are what? These are experiments. They get the dogs to be, or animals, or to be tested. Okay, so genetics is not the only field providing us with the power to re-engineer other species. Advances in electronic and computing make it possible to merge animals' bodies with machines, to use tiny electrodes to hijack a rat's brain and guide the rodent. What does it mean here? It also means what? Not only here, this part is what? I will not only play that scientists will not only play uh, in the genes, no. They can get like the beetle that we saw previous time, electronic devices and computer devices, and make it possible to merge animal bodies with machines inside it. So to use tiny electrodes to hijack the rat's brain, they put it in a rat's brain and guide it like remote control, as the beetle we saw previous time. They plant electronic devices inside it, electronic parts, and control the rat or control the beetle as if it's a remote control. Through complicated obstacle course, breakthrough in material science and veterinary surgery are helping us build bionic limbs for injured animals. Breakthrough in material science and veterinary surgery. Veterinary is the treating animals, are helping us build bionic limbs for injured animals. And we can train monkeys to control robotic arms with their thoughts. Today, our grandest science fiction fantasies are becoming reality. Where is the main idea? Our grandest science fiction fantasies are becoming reality. That they can control the animals. So as they take the animals and make scientific experiments on them, they plant electronic chips inside their minds and control them like a remote control. Okay, we will stop here and I see you in 5 minutes, Chris. Okay?
Yes.